What up, everybody? It's your boy Tactical Designs here, bringing you guys another tabletop video. I'm sure some of you guys saw my Glock 19, my modified Glock 19 video. This is another one of my favorite, most carried pistols. This is a CZ p09 Nocturne C, which used to be the p07. They changed the name to CZ p09. They made some modifications to the gun for the better, in my opinion. I've never had a p07, but I've definitely held them. This is a tier 1 concealed access elite, the greatest appendix holster on the market, in my opinion. We'll get into this a little later. We're gonna get this out of here. So for the gun, this gun is great. It's a CZ. I mean, you either like them or you hate them. I personally love CZs. So I'm gonna go top to bottom on this particular gun. So this gun, let me start by saying this gun is cut for an optic. Unfortunately, it's only cut for the RMSC pattern, which isn't unfortunate because I love this particular dot. But the RMSC pattern is usually smaller dots. Now, granted, this is a compact gun. To me, this is not a small gun. This is not a 43X. This is not, you know, an FN reflex size. This is not, you know, one of the micro compact guns that you'd put that would be cut for an RMSC pattern. Why they did that? They must have did that because of the way the slide is, and they had to do that pattern. But fortunately, although the dot's not the cheapest dot, they do make this dot. This is the EPS. They also make the EPS carry, which is smaller, but this is the regular EPS, so it's cut for that RMSC pattern, but it's a full-size dot. It's completely enclosed emitter, which I don't think is necessary. It's a nicety, not a necessity. I've been carrying guns with open emitters for a long time. I've never had a problem. They're usually made pretty well, especially you get a good brand like, you know, RMR is not closed emitter. Trijicon does make one. I forget the name of it. Super expensive, but this dot is very nice. I love it. I got the green because I like red, but I don't know if I prefer the red or the green, but I like both. So dot's great, love it. The slide, the thing with the CZs is the reason I like this Nocturne so much is because they put some super aggressive forward and rear slide serrations in this thing. And if anybody shot CZs, if you have, then you know, like a 75, a p01, the slides are short. So it's extremely hard to get a nice purchase on a CZ slide. On this p09, the slide is a slightly thicker, but it is cut super nice, so you could really get a nice grip on that thing. No problem. You could do a forward press check, you do a rear grip. I've never had a problem grabbing this slide. I did have a p01 that I loved that I got rid of. I buy and sell guns all the time. That it did have aggressive, but it was hard to get a grip on that thing at times. This thing, I've never had an issue getting a grip. It is a decocker. You can also switch that. We'll get into that a little later when I move down the pistol. But as far as the slide goes, it comes with nice optic ready height sights, which we talked about. It's extremely important to be able to see your irons through your dot in case your dot goes down. It's imperative. So definitely something you want to, that's a plus. It comes factory night sights that are optic ready. You know, Glock comes factory with bullshit ass fucking plastic sights that are just fucking, the fact that they put plastic sights on their pistols and they charge you 600 and some bucks for them is a fucking abomination. Even though I love Glocks, they need to fucking do something with that. I don't care if they call them placeholders or whatever. You're gonna rip them off anyway. Well, you wouldn't have to rip off the fucking sights if they were decent. That's what I'm saying. I would never rip these sights off this gun because they're great, or any other gun for that matter. If they're, you know, if they co-witness to my dot and they're nice. Although I don't like fiber optics, you know, night sights with dots. I'm willing to compromise here. It's just fine. Moving down, this is extremely nice. It's very proud. I've actually found that if you are shooting, if you're running this gun fast, it happened to me in competition. This was my first time competition gun that I use for carry optics. But I did find if you're not careful and you're running this gun fast and you're holding the gun like this, you could accidentally push that up and lock your slide back, which is a problem. Especially if you're in a gunfight in real life scenario and you're protecting yourself or you're relying on this. You need to keep in mind with this pistol that you need to have your hand away like that, or keep your palm on top of that to keep it down. You do not want to accidentally ND that thing and lock your slide back mid-fight. You don't want that. This is a decocker, so you rack it, you put one in, you chamber around, and then you decock it. Then you're in double action, which is great. Especially because I carry appendix. Although I do carry Glocks, I'll carry any gun appendix. If you trust your firearm, then and you trust yourself, you trust your switch, you trust your finger. Just having a hammer fired gun, double single action with a decocker is super nice, because as you holster your gun, you could have your thumb and ride that hammer, and if anything presses that hammer back, you feel it with your thumb and you stop immediately. Although when you're holstering your gun, especially appendix, you should be holstering deliberately and not negligently, and you should be knowing where you put your gun every fucking time, because you don't want to blow your cock off. It's the last thing you want to do, or shoot your femoral artery or anything like that. You want to be able to holster your gun deliberately and go on with your day. So I do like, it does come with a kit in the box where you could switch. The switch looks the same, the lever looks the same, but it makes it single action only. So you rack your gun, and then you put your safety down. I'm not opting for that because I don't train with the safety. I train with Glocks and I train with striker fired guns without safeties. So instinctively, in a stressful scenario, I don't want to, in your head, you could be like, oh, I'll hit the safety down, I'll do this. No, you don't want to, unless you train with guns with safeties, 1911s, any other safety, single action gun, etc. You don't want to have a situation where someone's coming at you and now, oh fuck, I forgot to fucking disengage my safety, and now it's too late, you're dead. Or your wife's dead, or your kids, God forbid, a loved one that got hurt because you don't train with the safety. So if I did decide to carry a gun that was single action only, I would make sure I'd be at the fucking range multiple times, as much as I could possibly afford it, because ammo's expensive, to train with a safety. Meaning, every time you shoot one, safety on, safety off. You want to have that second nature back of your mind. Guys that shoot 1911s, guys that do that, they're very good with a safety, and you should be. The checkering on this gun is aggressive, not too aggressive, although I do have goon tape on there, and I'll get into that. This is a super grippy gun. Fits in your hand great. It's got that nice beaver tail, which I like. It really, when you hold this gun, it just feels like it's supposed to be there. It doesn't feel odd. It doesn't feel anything. It just feels great. Fantastic gun. I know I keep saying that, but I really love this thing. The goon tape I put on there because for whatever reason with this gun, I'm accurate without it, but I feel a little better with more of a palm swell on there. And that's what that goon tape gives me. And as your hands get wetter, this is going to get more grippy. It doesn't take away from the grip of the gun for me. Can't speak for everybody, but for me, it doesn't take away from the grip of the gun. It just gives me a slight palm swell, and it just really makes it feel better in my hand. I really love it. The light, obviously, it's a TRL7 HLX. Love this light. I talked about this in the last video. If you haven't seen my last video, this light's fantastic because it does have a recharging battery. It is 1,000 lumens, and it's bright as fuck. It's got, I don't know the candelas, but it's got super high candelas. It is a rechargeable battery, which means people are like, oh my God, it's a proprietary battery. I wouldn't have bought it if it was a proprietary battery either. If you have this as your sidearm and there's a collapse, or there's a situation where you don't have access to electricity, or you don't have a fucking charger for this thing, you could take the battery that goes in the EOTechs. I forget what they're called. I should know, but I forget the correct name for the battery. but it will take those batteries and this light will run. It will work, which is huge, because you should, if you run an EOTech or any other light, you should have multiple of those batteries in your kit, on your person, in your backpack, you know, in your bug out bag, whatever. If you know your assault, you should have those batteries on you. Not trying to tell you what to do, but if you're taking this shit seriously, and you should definitely have those batteries on your person or very close to your person where you can access them if something shuts down or goes down. Like I said, the trigger, the double action pull, it's not the worst, it's not the best. It is a double action trigger. You got to train with it if you're going to carry it. You got to keep, you know, I go to the range and I'll shoot every single shot in double action. You know, I'll shoot a whole box like that. You want to make sure that you're proficient with your double action trigger, because single action is beautiful, you know, just a quick boom. This gun is great for quick shots on target, especially with the dot. You could really put four in a nice size group like this in no time flat, very quickly, which is good. I also like that this gun has a lanyard loop. People hate lanyard loops. I think they're cool as shit on my Glock 19X. I love the lanyard loops. Some people remove them. It just shows that it's a military grade weapon. You know, militaries require lanyard loops, and you never know. You might use it someday. You might be in some conditions where you need to put something in there, like a rope, a piece of paracord, a fucking string, something. So if you drop your gun, you're not going to lose it. Water, if you're high in the air, you might want to tether this thing off someday. You never ever know. I think that this gun was probably designed for the Czech military, or some military police organization in Europe, which is why they probably added the lanyard loop. I'm not sure if they're using this for any organizations yet. I'm sure that the information's out there. I don't know it. I know they used the p09 for the Czech military, which is, I love that gun. I had one, I got rid of it. Kind of regret getting rid of it, but not really. I buy and sell shit a lot, like I said. So, but yeah, this gun's fantastic. I will continue to carry this thing in my lineup. You just got to remember, the guns you carry, you must train with, you must be proficient at, because you do not want to miss and shoot somebody you don't intend on shooting. That's the last thing you need. It's the last thing anybody needs. Before I get out of here, I do want to talk about this, again, Spear Gold Dots. Trusted, tried and true concealed carry round. I carry them in all my concealed guns. You'll see that as time goes on, as I keep making videos. I carry Spear Gold Dots in my 9mm. This holster, I don't want to seem like I'm on tier 1's nuts or anything like that, but this holster is absolutely fantastic. It is the best appendix rig on the market. It's the most comfortable. It's the lowest profile. The gun fits in there. I mean, they're made to order. They're definitely not cheap. So I will say that. You get what you pay for, though. Buy once, cry once type shit. This holster's fantastic. I'm going to buy one of these for every single one of my concealed carry guns that I carry appendix, which is all of them. Like I said, T-Rex makes a great one, but this one, something about this is just more comfortable. I don't know if it's the shock cord. I don't know what it is, but it's a fantastic holster. I'll make a video going more into depth about this holster and the wedge and why we put the wedge on there and this, that, and the other. So it is wolf gray with the red shock cord, which I thought was pretty dope. So thanks for tuning in. Until next time, guys.